Okay, so welcome back to a new video, and in this video, as you read in the title, I'm showing you how to make a good stat build. So I got a suggestion saying that they didn't really know how to make good stats, or they wanted like an update, because if you don't know, I did make an update in a stat guide video in update 3, but obviously stats have changed, some things have changed, and then obviously your levels go up. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. And basic thing first, stamina and defense, their scaling got gutted, especially stamina. Before, I think I was able to have 600 with 0 into stamina, around there or so, and now you only have like 500. It was with 100. With 100, I only have 500. So it did get gutted, like badly. I think I had like 500 with 0. Actually, I don't remember how much it was before the update. But anyways, thing is, I'm gonna go ahead and just explain everything and what you should have. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and just get the farming builds out the way, because this would be mainly about PvP, but farming is really easy to explain. Farming is just low defense, like 1000 health, low defense, 1000 health, high stamina, high fruit, whatever fruit you have, high fruit, you know, or high whatever your max damage output is. That's what it is. But anyways, for PvP, we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. So we're gonna start with strength. We're just gonna go down with strength. You're gonna want to not really use strength unless you're using something that scales off of strength. So unless you're becoming a black leg main, or let's say black leg main, or using gauntlets, you want to use strength. You don't want to have anything in strength unless you're using something that scales off of strength. So for black leg, you want to have strength. How much strength? That is up to you to test. I think around 300 was the perfect amount. 300, or like it was either like 150 or 300, around there, because that's how much M1 damage you could get. You could get like 40 M1 damage with like 150 or 300. But if you really just want to test it yourself and get it to your liking, you could put 100 into strength each time. So put 100, test out the M1, see how much damage you do. Put another 100 if you're not satisfied, and test out all your moves and stuff. So that's something you could do if just to get to your liking. So moving on from strength, we're gonna go to stamina. So stamina now, for PvP, you're gonna want to have maybe around 500 to 550 to 600 stamina. You don't need that much more for PvP. So for me, since I'm Mink, I only have to put 100 in order to get to the 500 point. So I put 100, but if you're not Mink, you're gonna maybe do like 125, 150 to get to 500. And yeah, so for stamina, you don't need that much for PvP, unless you're using unless you're using a fruit main. Unless you're doing fruit main, you might want to have more on the 600 end, and just keep adding points into stamina until you get to around 600, however you're liking. Now next is defense. Now for defense, it is a bit more troubling to explain, because nobody really knows what the perfect amount of defense is in PvP. I would say 1300 to 1500 is perfect. 1200 you can make do, but you want to have high DPS. You want to have like good damage if you want to have 1200 health. And also it goes into your items, how much extra health you have, and how much your health regen is. You know, so if you have a good amount of extra health and a good amount of health regen, you might want to do like 1300, 1200. I'm probably gonna have to scale mine down, but anyways, yeah. But it also goes into your items. Let's say you have like 0 items, you're only gonna have 1100 with like defense. If I didn't have any of the items I had, I would only have 1100 with 500, and that would be perfect. I would say 500. I would say 1100 is perfect. You're just gonna have to make do with losing some health and having to get around that. But yeah, you do want to get items to boost your health, and you do want to have around at least 1300 or at least 1200, and then max I would say is 1500. That's just up to you. Anyways, next up is Devil Fruit. Actually, we're gonna go ahead and skip Devil Fruit, and then obviously you have Gun Mastery. Gun Mastery. Well, I mean, we're not skipping Devil Fruit completely, but we're just gonna come back to that later. Gun Mastery, obviously, unless you're using guns, you don't really need Gun Mastery. And I don't even know the scaling for guns, because I've never used it. Anyways, Rokashiki Mastery, or not Rokashiki. Your what is it called? Your damage style mastery. So we're gonna go ahead and go with the mainly damage based masteries. So obviously you have your black leg, and then you have your fishman, and then you have your mink. So fishman and mink, those two, their damage scales off of fishman mastery and mink mastery. The more damage the more points you have into Rokashiki, or not Rokashiki, the more points you have into fishman and mink, the more damage your moves do. Not your M1s, but your moves. If you want to do more M1 damage with Fishman and Mink, you're gonna have to do strength because you're using fist, so it's gonna scale off of strength. So that's what you want to do. And yeah, you're gonna have to put maybe like, if you have Fishman, maybe like, I don't know, 150, 300 is good. Just think of it as using a fruit. You know, if you're using that master, you don't really want to use a fruit. So think of it as using your fruit. Think of it as having like maybe like 500 of fruit. You know, high damage. But for Mink, I wouldn't really suggest that. I wouldn't even suggest going, using Mink style in general. Fishman style, you just want to become Fishman meme. That's what you can do. And then for Rokushiki, or my bad, let me do Black Leg first. So Black Leg, obviously you're just gonna have your moves. You don't really, I mean, unless you're using Black Leg fully, then you can do the mastery up to the moves, and then you just use strength to scale them. Because I don't think Black Leg scales off of the damage doesn't scale off Black Leg. I think it scales off strength. But anyways, we're gonna move on to Rokushiki now. In Rokushiki, only have 20. Only have 20 at all times. There really isn't an excuse to have 20. You can do 25 if you really want Rain Kakyu. Just do 20 for Tekai and then your Sora and everything. You can do 95 for Rokugan if you really want to. It's up to you. I wouldn't suggest doing it. But anyways, yeah, that's just if you suggest doing it. And also for Black Leg, if you're just using Black Leg for if you just want Black Leg for the block breaker, just get up to the block breaker, which is Collier, I think. And then just don't put anything into strength if you just want Black Leg for the block breaker. You know, if you're just using a certain fire sign for the block breaker or for a certain move like Tekai, only put up to the points of that move and then just skip out on its mastery damage or damage scaling and then use whatever you want. So now we're gonna go ahead and get into Devil Fruit and Sword style. So there's 3 types of builds in this game you can do. There's Fruit main, Sword main, or M1 main, and then Hybrid, which is just, you know, both of them in one. So I wouldn't suggest going hybrid because it is very hard to do, or very hard to get damage output. It can be fun, but it's just not. I don't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend doing it. So let me start with Devil Fruit first. Let's say you're going Devil Fruit main. Let's say I have Magu, right? I want to basically switch. Like, I want to have high. If I'm doing Fruit main, high Fruit, low M1. Okay. So let's say all my points just went into Fruit. And I switched these two out. So if I was using Trident and I wanted Trident Impel or Trident Pull because I'm using Magu, and after the stomp I want to pull them in, just have up to 50 to use the pull or the Trident Impel, and then put everything else like 668 into Devil Fruit. And that way I will have all the moves and then they'll do high damage. So yeah, if you have a fruit that's high DPS like Mera, Pika, Magu, then I would suggest doing it. With Pika you can go Sword main and then just get the block breakers. But it's whatever, you know, it's do what you want. Unless you're using like Zushi or Bari or something that doesn't have like any high damage moves. Like Push, you're not going to be doing any damage with that. And Push is not a block breaker, so there's no point. You're not going to be doing damage with that. So you just want to have like high fruit into something that gives you that high DPS. Moving on, Sword. Obviously Sword, you know, you want to have high mastery. Or if you're using it like Strength and ones, you don't want that much. Because I think like 300 is perfect, because I know strength scaling is a lot higher than Sword is, and yeah, but a good amount of Sword mastery would be like 600, maybe 650, you know, because of the new update now that came out. And yeah, so that's how stats will work. That's gonna be in the video. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know if I explained that good. I hope I did. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. You know how let me know if you have a question in the comments I didn't answer, or maybe I didn't explain too good, so that way I'll answer it, because I ain't gonna be answering comments for this video, just in case some people didn't understand something. I can go ahead and explain it in the comments. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Like and sub and all that, and I'm gonna go ahead and end the video.